Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, super excited for this week's Wine About It. So, one of the best ways to live your best life is to fill your days doing activities that really light your soul on fire. But how do we know what our soul is calling us to do? So, this is what we're going to kind of jump into today. I have special guest Virginia Scheuer back with us. I'm super excited. We're going to discuss tapping into your soul and finding your true calling. So, as you tune in, say hey. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Leave us a little love in that chat box. Throw some hearts, all of that good stuff. Yeah. So, welcome to Wine About It with Wine Diva Tiara. I'm your host, Tiara, aka T, the Wine Diva. I invite you to share this broadcast out, invite your friends, mention them, all of that good stuff, because it's about to get lit, friends. Plus, because it's the holidays, and Jay and I have been doing a little bit of our Marie Kondoing through our apartment, and so I found a lot of fun little wine trinkets, and so I figured, what's the best thing to do? Not only just blessing and releasing some stuff, but releasing it to the good people, right? So let's give it to you. So for those of you who actually share this out, mention some friends, I will do a post inside the Confident Creators Continued Conversations group, Facebook group, and you can just write in that thread whether or not you mentioned somebody or you shared it out, and I will enter you into a raffle so you can earn some fun little prizes. How does that sound? Yeah.
I am so excited. Sounds amazing.
Right? Why not, right? Hashtag why not? That's the season of giving, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I love it. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Tiara, aka T. I'm a wine consultant. I am a trained actor. I'm a certified life and business coach and a Reiki master to be. I love sharing ways to inspire you to connect with your inner self, find your true calling, turn your passion into profit, and all while drinking a delicious artisan glass of wine. So yes, every Thursday we bring you a live podcast broadcast on Facebook or YouTube to introduce you to some phenomenal experts in their respective fields and help you to, in various ways, areas of your life, so you can live your best life. Now, this week we're going live on a Tuesday because it is Thanksgiving week and YOLO, and we do whatever we want to do. And plus, I wasn't going to go live on Thanksgiving. Sorry, not sorry. Yes. Last week, we spoke with Angela Kay about all things tarot. Next week, we're going to be talking to Cynthia Stant about meditation. And today, we have Virginia Scheuer. She is my friend. She is my coach. And we're talking about finding your soul's calling. So this is going to be fire. Invite your friends. Let's have some fun. Virginia, will you please introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. And thank you so much for having me on the show again, Tiara. This is so amazing. So my name is Virginia Scheuer, and I am the founder and CEO of Speakeasy Enterprise, where we make it easy to speak when you tap into your truth. We're all about connecting your soul to your business so you can have more ease, more fun, more alignment, and more fun. I said fun, more abundance, I think, because fun is a part of purpose that came to me twice in your life. And so I have a school. And I guess we'll talk about that more later, but it's a certification school for coaching. And I just do all things to help soulpreneurs. And those are the people that want to do more good on this planet. Make it big. That's what I love doing.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Ooh, Melissa, thank you.
All right. So, it is Wine About It. So, of course, we have to talk about what the wine of the week is going to be. So this week,
please.
I chose a dry white wine because I feel like the last couple of weeks have been very focused on sweeter reds. So I was like, let's go completely opposite. I have 4 bottles of wine open in my fridge. I know my life is super hard.
Living on purpose is hard.
I know. I know, right? Right. I love it. So I have the Topazo white wine, which came in my November wine club. It is the Jim line. It's like spelled like the French way. So it like looks like
Mm,
Jim, but it's like
yeah.
Jim is how you say
J'aime.
it. And it's Gem, like super fancy. I love it. But I also just bought a whole bunch of crystals. And so I'm really feeling this brand right now. I'm like all up in
Absolutely.
it. I feel like it's like my soul speaking to me through wine. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But
Oh my gosh, I see the little crystal on the front of it. Do you see that on the front of that label? It looks so cool.
yes. Let's angle
Amazing.
it. Beautiful. I
Topazo.
love it.
Oh, topaz. Topaz is the gem of November. So it's a Scorpio,
Hmm.
it's the gem of the Scorpio, which I'm a Scorpio. So isn't that cool?
Oh,
Who
that
knew?
is really cool. That's a fun fact. I love it. I love it's all like synergy. It's
Yes.
so good.
So
It's
what
so
are you
good. So if you
tasting
like
there?
it's got some like tropical fruit notes. It's
Mm-hmm.
very crisp, refreshing, dry white wine. I think it would go great with like if we're thinking Thanksgiving, because you know it's Thanksgiving week, like mac and cheese would go really well with this. It would go really good
Oh,
with your
yeah.
turkey. It would go really good with ignoring your in-laws. I
Yeah,
just kidding. I have a
no,
great relationship with my
no,
in-laws.
I do too. I love my mama shower. Yes.
I
Oh,
love
thank you,
it.
Melissa. I appreciate that. Oh, yes. I love that we're on YouTube as well. This is my first YouTube live, Tiara.
I'm so excited for you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, yeah, if
Tell me
you like
more.
crisp,
Uh,
dry white wine,
so
this is
when you
it.
say tropical, is it like pineapple notes, or is it like when you say tropical notes, what do you mean by that?
Yes, I'm like mango,
Mm.
just like papaya, that kind of those kind of like I don't know, like
You feel like you could sit on
Hawaii.
the beach and
Yes,
drink it.
exactly. Like I would save some of this, like if you get a couple bottles, saving it for the summertime and enjoying it on the beach. Or if you like live in Southern California and it's still the 70s, you can, you know, sit outside and drink it.
And I would say it's kind of hard to find a dry white that has fruity, like really fruity notes. So it's
Hmm.
nice to have that.
Yes, and it's got a good a little like minerality on the end. So like
Like a little
that just
fizzy.
crispness, a little like Christmas. What am I saying?
Well, 'tis the
Crispness.
season.
This is my soul is like holidays.
It is.
But it's got this nice little crispness to it. It's what is my looking? What am I tasting? I like apricot. Mm,
Ooh, she
I'm
says
enjoying it.
potato. I say potato. You said apricot. Apricot, apricot.
Oh, do we say it differently?
Yeah, I say I'm used to saying apricot. I've never heard
Oh.
apricot before. That's really cool. I like that even better. Uh,
Oh, the more you know. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. But yes, for those who love dry white wine, I really think this is a great white wine for you, especially if you want a little bit more of like that. Like if you're familiar with like Chenin Blanc, but like not as like
mm,
sweet, this is it. And I'm a huge Chenin Blanc fan, so I love it. This makes me happy.
yay.
Yeah. Yay! So if you want to know a little bit more about my wines, my wine club, you can go to winedivatiera.com. You can also just, I mean, for the wine club, it's 4 bottles of wine every single month. You get pairing recipes, you get access to all of our virtual wine events, and then, you know, like a discount on wine. So like all sorts of like fun little specials. So I mean, just like wine not. It's a good
Exactly.
time. It's a good time. I like it. I love it. Okay. So yes, winedivatiera.com. That's all you got to do to check all of that out. We got Black Friday deals going on through December 1st, all sorts of awesomeness. So let's move on. Let's get to the good. Let's talk about, you know, all things connecting with soul, connecting with your calling, all of that. So, Virginia,
Mm.
what is a calling?
What is a calling? A calling is when callings typically come when you're really unhappy. Callings are that thing that is that tap on the shoulder that says, I want to do something different. A calling
Mm.
is something when you want to serve and you don't you don't care if you get paid for it or not. Like you just want to serve. You just want to do this thing because it's just tons and tons of fun.
Mhm.
A calling is a combination of serving and also doing something that you love and is your gift.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So, who has a calling?
Everyone.
Trick question there, right?
Yeah. Everyone has a calling. I think that even pets have a calling.
Ooh.
I think every living being has a calling. Um, yeah.
For sure. I mean, like, I think even when we talk about like even plants, anything like, they have their space in the universe and they have what they're like supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
growing, come like fruit or bearing flowers. Like it might not be the same thing as like a human calling, but we all have our space in this time and where our DNA is like kind of set up to do.
It's a specific place that you serve and you thrive in it. So
Hmm.
it's not just we have a lot of things that we can do. We can do things well. I'm
Hmm.
sure, especially for the multi-passionate person, the person who likes to do different things and does it well. But it's doesn't necessarily mean that that's your calling. It means that you're
Hmm.
just good at it, and we live in that. I love what Gay Hendricks calls that in The Big Leap. He calls it the zone of excellence. Like we can live in
Yes.
that. You know, a plant can survive in many different atmospheres, but where does it thrive? What environment does it thrive in? And you get it in that place where it thrives, and it not only serves itself, but it serves many, the whole ecosystem around it. And that's what we want for people is we want them to not just survive, because when they're surviving, they're just taking care of themselves. But when they're thriving, they not only take care of
Mm.
themselves, but they take care of the whole ecosystem around them.
Yes, yes, yes. So, how do we find what our calling is?
I, I believe that you follow the fun, you follow your what you comes naturally, but then also
Mhm.
what you love to be challenged by. So it's not just what comes easily to you, because that can get boring. You can be really good at something and say, "Yeah, that I'm pretty good at that," but that's not what I really want to do. And that's just because you don't like to be challenged by it, or it's not a challenge to you. And so you look for the things that excite you, you kind of like geek out on. I love geeking out on stuff. Like I know that's my calling because I geek out on it, and I don't care that I've spent 8 hours doing this and gotten paid nothing for it. I just love doing it. Kind of, I mean, I see that in what you do here, like doing these interviews and things. Podcasters at first they don't get paid a penny, and a lot of people, they'll poop out, they won't do it, they won't continue to do it because they don't have the ROI, the return on investment. But if you really look at what ROI is, the return on investment is your joy. The return on investment
Mhm.
is you and everyone else around you thriving. That's what you want to look for when you're searching for your purposes. Are you and everyone around you thriving when you're doing this? That's when you're in your purpose. That's when you're living your gifts and living your calling.
Ooh, yes, I love that. So you mentioned like your zone of excellence, and I remember like in our going through your school, we did read "The Big Leap" by Gay Hendricks, which he talks about the zone of excellence versus your zone of genius. So
Right.
like how do we realize that we're in our zone of excellence, and how can we like try to move forward and say, you know what, this is time. Like, I'm really good at this. It might even make me like six figures or whatever, but it's not my soul's calling. How can I make this shift to like making my passion my profit?
One thing I want to note is that many times we move towards our move into purpose, and it can be for a time being. So I don't want to neglect the opportunity to say that we can have a time where that is our purpose. And we can have
Mhm.
many purposes here on this planet. You don't have to have one purpose. So there can be a time when you're doing, as an entrepreneur, you're doing a great job in your purpose and you're living it out. And then you come to a point where you realize, hey, I've served as much as I can serve here. And I'm getting excited about something else, and it's time for me to move on. And how you know that is when it isn't fun for you anymore. And even when you try to find the fun, it's just not happening for a period of time. There, so it's complex. It's complex because sometimes we are in our zone of geniuses, but there's the next level to get to, and so it
Mhm.
will feel hard, and it will feel like a drudge, or it will feel like um, you're hitting a wall or you're getting stuck. But that doesn't mean that you're not meant to do it. That just means that you got to take the big leap and move through it. Find what is holding you back. Find that glass ceiling that you're in and break through the glass ceiling to go to the next level. So when I say, if it's, many people are like, well, it isn't fun anymore, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. Well, that may be their upper limit problem. That may
Mhm.
not be that they're not, that they are, that may in fact be that they're living in their zone of genius, but they've hit their upper limit. So we have to define those two things.
Right.
Now, if you're in a job that you clearly don't like, and you've been in it for a long time, then you know that's not your purpose. And what I suggest
Right.
is finding the fun. And that's how you find it. You release it, you walk away from it. If you miss it, you know that you're supposed to go back to it. But if you don't miss it, you don't have to go back to it. You just keep finding the fun. Find the fun, find the fun, find the fun.
There's the joy in the journey right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Just enjoy it. And then if something is challenging, is it a challenge that you're willing to march through because it's worth
Mhm.
it? Or is it a challenge like, oh my God, this is a drudge. I don't want
Yeah.
to do this.
Mm. I think that this is really cool because we were talking a little bit earlier. Anybody a Schitt's Creek fan?
Oh, yes. Yes, we're going there. I love it. Schitt's
We're
Creek.
going there. This is the perfect time for it. I just felt like so. For those of us who don't know, like V and I are friends, and we talk in Messenger or whatever. And earlier today, like came up about like Schitt's Creek. I think she just sent a gift with like Moira in it, and I was like, I love this show. And honestly, like I discovered it, I guess, a couple months ago, and lo and behold, it's been around for like 6-7
I
years.
know we're a little late to the ride, but we got on
Very
kind of
late
the
to the
same
right.
time because I just finished it too, just a little while ago.
Yeah. So over the weekend, I finished it. I bawled my eyes out, and then I watched the documentary series about it, and I was kind of blown away to think about like, okay, they've worked on this thing for 6 years, and they're at the peak. Their peak of like, its popularity. Like it started off as this Canadian show, and it had a good run, and then Netflix picked it up, and now it's like super popular, and so many people are like they're being inspired by it. They're stepping into their authentic selves. People are coming out and telling their family about who they truly are. There's so much beauty that's coming from this show, and it's so witty and such a fun show. And then to say, you know what? Well, we had every intention of quitting on the sixth season. And even though the world is telling us no, we're still going to quit and move on. And I think there's something like beautiful in that, and realizing that, hey, okay, great. Like this was my soul's calling. This is what I came here to do. But now I'm ready to move on to the next thing. I'm ready to move on to my next zone of genius, because even though the world is saying, and all these other people are saying, you know what, you're doing great. You can make so much more money in this, but you know that this is your time to like make a shift.
Yeah, I think that is not, it is heroic. And it also is a pure example of an abundant mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much money to be made. And even if the next show or the next show wasn't as big there was still more money to be made, and they let that go. Like, it's
Mhm.
not about that. That's not what abundance is for them, and there's more to be had. There's so much more to be had,
Oh, yeah.
and the thing is too, I it was truly soul-led because it ended right before COVID,
Mhm.
right? So they wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to shoot the next season even if they wanted to. So, I mean,
Perfect timing.
it was soul-led timing. They just knew, and it's amazing to me what they did because a lot many most people, I think you would agree, would not have ended the show.
Right. Oh yeah. I feel like there are so many people, so many things that like go past their prime. They keep trying and and once, like you said, once it kind of stops being fun, then you lose your creativity. You kind of lose that like je ne sais quoi, if you will, and you can't. And it's like when you start a franchise of like movies, and like the first movie was amazing and everybody loved it, and now we're on like the 97th movie of like, I don't know, Land Before Time.
Right.
I haven't seen any of the recent ones, so I can't say that they're bad. But like, just to think, like, can it be as good as the original? Is it as good, or is it some sort of like bastardization of what it is because your full heart isn't no longer in it?
And it becomes a monetization thing more than it
Mm-hmm.
is a heart-centered thing. And I think that goes for us too in the entrepreneurial world, um, because we most of us as entrepreneurs start out with very little equity when we
Oh
start,
yeah.
right? And we're working towards a goal. I mean, how many ads do we see make six figures, make seven figures this year, do these things, and you'll make your money in this? It takes the soul out of the work. And taking the soul out of the work is taking your purpose out of the work. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually putting your plant back in the shade when it needs full sun.
I
It's
love that
actually
visual.
right? It's taking a plant that is a cactus and throwing it in the ocean and saying, "This is where the abundance is." But a cactus would die in the ocean of
Mm-hmm.
abundance. And the same thing, seaweed, putting seaweed in the desert. It's the same thing when you are looking from the perspective of making money in your business. How fast is it that we lose our soul in the process?
Mm-hmm.
It's so fast. And I think, and I'll just say this, I'm guilty of it. I believe most of us, if we're really honest with ourselves, we've gone there at least once in our entrepreneurial endeavors. And it's our job. We're the only ones to hold us accountable to that, to stay heart-centered and soul-centered, because that's when you'll be happiest. And isn't it
Mm-hmm.
true that when you decide to live a purposeful life, that it's a life you've chosen, this life because you wanna be happy, you wanna be happier? That's why you quit your 9 to 5. That's why you decided to do this in the first place. Maybe the money sounded really good just to be able to support yourself and be able to support your family and have a better lifestyle. But in actuality, that all comes down to just being happy too.
Mm-hmm.
And being your happiest is living in your purpose. It's not doing all the things that they tell you to do to make 6 and 7 figures. And the thing is that while they strip you of that and you're like trying so hard, you stop having fun, you stop being attractive because you're not having fun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens with that? Pew! You don't make it
Correct.
because you
Yeah.
stop having the fun.
It's like the visual I'm getting right now is like imagine a Jeep, right? And you're like you're going down the road, you're doing whatever, but and like you're pushing, you're like hitting the gas, and all of a sudden something comes out of the road and like lifts the Jeep into the air. Your tires are no longer touching the ground, and so your wheels are spinning, you're doing all of the things, you're hitting all of the buttons, but you're going nowhere because you're like lifting off the ground. But if you connect to your soul, then that is the
Mm.
tire to the pavement, and that's
Yes.
where it's going to take off and get you where you want to go.
Oh
But
my
if you're
God,
not
I love that visual. Go,
if
girl.
you're not heart centered, then it's just like it's so disconnected, and you're not going to get where you want to go, and you're not going to get there in the timing that you want to go, and it's not fun. It's frustrating. It just doesn't feel good.
You're going to fluck and flick that fluck. You're going to flip your truck. If you're
Yes.
hydroplaning, like if you go up, you're going to flip it and crash and burn. Or, I mean, you can only go for so long. And that's the thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they talk about, you know, hitting it hard and, you know, pushing and, you know, what is the word? Hustle. I don't even use it in my vocabulary anymore. More hustle it. But the thing is, you can only hustle for so long until you crash and burn.
Yeah, it takes energy, and
So much
it's
energy.
it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. I mean, I believe in momentum. I believe that
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a launch and you can get excited and there's a go time that you go and you get that energy and you get that excitement and you get your why underneath of you. Like your why is the motor oil that goes in your car and you go. That's important. But you got to remember why it's important. It's not important because you're going to make lots of money. It's important because of the lives that you're going to change with your purpose, with the thing that you're gifted at, with your soul's fire lit thing that you have.
Yes.
Right? Oh my
I
God.
love
That's
it.
the exciting part.
Yes. So, can we, like, in a nutshell, can you say, how do we know when we are doing our soul's calling?
Oh my God. You feel fire. What I can tell you is you can feel there is this like kind of you can let it rip, like all of a sudden you start talking about this passion thing that you have and you can go on and on and on about it like you're an expert in the field, and like the flow starts coming and it's like all of a sudden you're starting to say things that are so intelligent and you didn't even know that you had that kind of intelligence inside of you, and it just starts flowing out of you. That's how you know that you're in your genius. That's how you know that you're in your
Mm.
soul's purpose, because it's not just your intelligence anymore. It's not just scientific information anymore. It's a connection to the divine, and you just start ripping it out. That's how you know. If you haven't hit that yet, come talk to me and we'll get you there. Like it is such a monumental feeling that's inside of you, and
Yes.
it just goes. That's how you know. If you haven't felt that yet, you haven't nicked the iceberg of what's
Mhm.
your potential.
Mm, mm. And why is it so important to, like, find our calling, to reach our full potential?
Because it feels so flipping good. It just feels incredible. Like it's so important because it feels like the best feeling ever.
Mm,
And because that is where we as humans are able to help the most people and serve the planet the best. You think that you're doing good? If you're not in your purpose, you ain't seen nothing yet.
yes.
How like
Mm,
it's a self-service, and it's also when you are self-serving in this way, there's selfishness in another way that is like sabotaging to lives. But this is a selfishness that is the best kind of selfishness. This selfishness allows you to serve more people than your brain can even comprehend.
mhm, mhm. It's just like, if you think about like a mom, like if she's not properly nourishing herself, then she can't nourish her kids, whether it's like
Right.
her being pregnant or like, you know, if she's breastfeeding, like you have to put the right nutrition into yourself. You have to be selfish and like take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Just like on a plane, like you've got to like put the mask on yourself before you put the mask on anybody else. You got to pour into yourself, and then you can pour and nourish the rest of the world. And then I had
Absolutely.
another question.
Mhm.
Another question that came to me is, so I know that some people are like, okay, well, I think this is my purpose, but I see like maybe like let's take coaching for example.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I think coaching is my purpose, but I already see like, you know, 15 of my friends on Facebook are already coaches and all of these other people are already coaches. What's going to make people come to me versus somebody else? Like how can we get over that kind of like, you know, unworthiness or who am I? How like these thoughts that kind of keep us away, these limiting beliefs that keep us away from really stepping into what our soul is really calling us to do.
So, a couple of things here. Number one, there is not an oversaturation of any area. So, there are nurses out there, and we
Mhm.
don't, hey, if we go into nursing, I don't know. Will anybody come see me if I'm a nurse? I'm not sure. People are going to come see you. Real estate agents. So there might be a million real estate agents around, and they might say, "Oh, there's just so many real estate agents." But when that real estate agent comes with their own personality, shining their light,
Mhm.
when they network and they talk to people and they show that they care, they build those relationships, they're going to get clients. It's the same thing with building a coaching practice. There is only a lot of them out there because it's called the yellow bug effect. Okay. You back in the, I guess it was like, I don't know, maybe 80s or something. I don't know, before we were all born. No, just kidding. um there were no people were like, I've never seen a yellow beetle before, like a Volkswagen Beetle. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden they see yellow beetles everywhere. Oh my God, there's a million yellow beetles. And it's because if coaching is something that you want to do, all of a sudden you're going to see lots of coaches out there and say, well, I don't know how I'm going to make it. And this person's struggling, and this person's making seven figures, and this person's not doing anything, and blah, 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 blah. And we get into this comparison mode and we see all of it around, but it's really we're tapping into like this market is a huge market. The average coach makes around $60,000 a year at the average. And that was done by the International Coaching Federation back in 2016. That's probably, I mean, it's much higher now, even. Um, it's the thing is that if you love doing it, you love helping people, you believe that you already you already coach people without getting paid for it. You give advice to your friends, you love helping them out, you love problem solving with them, and you believe that you're meant to be like helping in this way. And to me, coaching is really what I would say a lot of entrepreneurs do.
Mhm.
Entrepreneurs already do it, network marketers do it, team leaders do it in corporate America. Um, we do it with with our, I mean, whatever company it is, you're coaching in some way your team and your people. To be able to do that well and then get paid for it, it's like a consulting position. A lot of people go into consulting after they've been in vendor industry or other corporate industries. They go into consulting. Coaching is another offspring of that, and you bring your light, you bring your zone of genius, which we discover that. Like, you have to be able to discover what niche you go into, what part of coaching you're good at. Coaching is like a big blanket. It's like saying, I'm going to be a doctor. Well,
Mhm.
great. What kind of doctor are you going to be? Are you going to be a podiatrist? Are you going to be orthopedic? Are you going to be a cardiologist? What kind of doctor are you going to be? It's the same thing with coaching. What kind of coach are you going to
Mhm.
be? We have to discover that. And, when you go into, when doctors go into school, they think they know what kind of area they're going to go into, and then midway, guess what? They change their minds. Did you know that the average person going into college changes their mind 7 times before they realize their major? It's the same thing going into coaching school. It's the same
Mhm.
thing. You maybe have one area that you think you want to be a soul coach, but you end up going into health coaching, or you go into business. You don't know until you're in it. And so I would say too, you don't have to have it all figured out, but I do recommend getting educated,
Oh yeah.
jumping into education for it. I think some people um, don't necessarily need it, but I think most people do.
Oh yeah. I think there's something like, I mean, I love education though, so that there's that too.
Me
But like,
too.
I think it's super important that we are always, constantly learning, we're constantly growing, we're constantly evolving. So, we've got to like take these steps, because I think so often people get into this like kind of closed mindset of like, I know all the things, I don't need to learn it from somebody else, I don't need to like seek any sort of help, I've got it all. And I think once you have that closed mindedness, that's like kind of where you just stop growing, and you stop meeting other people's expectations, meeting your own expectations. Like, it's just, there's no opportunity to continue to move up and move forward and level yourself up, let alone level up your clients.
I also think that that's where most people are stuck,
Mm.
is that they think they have it all and they don't understand why they're stuck. And it's most likely because there's some sort of missing link in education or grounding. So, education is basically a grounding that happens that allows you a foundation for what you already know, and expands and allows you to expand your what you do already know into a deeper knowledge, and it lands you into that confidence and that forward movement of knowing exactly what to do next and next and next and next and next. As education isn't the be all and end all, but I will say that there are many out there that don't understand why they're stuck. And it's really because if they would just invest in an education, it would give them the tools that they need to get to the next levels in their business.
So true. So where can we get more information on tapping into our soul and what we're being called to do?
Well, the best way to do that is to I'll self promote a little bit here. um,
Yeah.
the best way to do that is to download the See Body Soul Business app. There are resources in there. There are free resources in there. Every single day, we give inspirational thoughts for you to launch into your day. I actually do some free coaching in there. So just check out that app. And it's called the See Body Soul Business app, and see like in I see you. And if
Yes.
you put into like the App Store Body Soul, it'll come up. It'll be like one of the first ones that pop up.
Beautiful. I love that. Yay.
Yay.
There's an app for that.
There's an app for that. There is. And I say you know, we don't need 10,000 more apps, but just clue into the ones that make you better.
Mhm.
Get rid of the ones that are not serving you and just keep the ones that make you better.
Yes. Marie Kondo everything. Your home, your phone apps.
Yes,
We've
everything.
come full circle on this conversation.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So is there anything else you would like to share on this topic?
Um, well, we have a Black Friday sale coming up for the school. For Our school is called Soulpreneurs University, and we have dual certification in life coaching, business, soul, or health. It is a beautiful program that includes marketing strategy and one-on-one coaching all the way through, that helps you launch, not only get your certification, but launch your business. And it's $1,500 off right now. And Tiara actually has her own code there. There it is, solopreneurs.co/wine diva, and you'll get the catalog to look through. if you're someone who truly wants to live into their purpose and believes that coaching is a part of that, come with us. Come play with us. The Black Friday sale is $1,500 off. You can't beat that.
Yes, come play. So if anyone wants to hear a little bit more like from you, V, where can they find you? Where do you like to hang out? I know the C app, but is there anywhere else?
I love Instagram. So come over there and play with me. And my handle is soulpreneurs.university.
Ooh, yeah, soulpreneurs.university. I'm gonna have to learn to spell real quick.
SOUL preneur, which is EUR, which is strange, isn't it? It seems like it should be ER.
Every time I try to spell entrepreneur, I'm like,
I do
I'm
too.
doing
I
it
used
wrong.
to do that. So I almost want to get the domain with the ER too. So when people, I mean, because people like us, right? They spell it wrong.
Unless I'm like, hey Siri, blah, 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 and she's gonna go off in a second, I'm sure. How do I spell this? Yeah, I kind of always butcher it. But good thing there's always like autocorrect. So
Yes.
that's beautiful. All right. So fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, V. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. If you have any questions or comments, we can continue this conversation over in the Confident Creator Continued Conversations Facebook group. If you're not a part of the group, hashtag why not? It is a great space for us. All of my guests are members of that community. So it's a great place for you to go over, hang out. You can get to know some of our like speakers one-on-one, ask questions, and really connect over there. I really want to create this beautiful community. I feel like a lot of times when we do podcasts or YouTube, people can leave their thoughts in the comments, but it's just not an opportunity to really start conversations. So over there is where we like to have conversations. And if you want some more like vino fun, my glass is almost empty, sorry. You can join me in the virtual wine tasting room on Facebook. There are Black Friday deals dropping in there right now. So check that out. Thank you all so much for your support. Also, I have launched a Patreon. Hello. So if you are like, you know what, I love your content. I don't do wine or whatever, but I want to give back on my Linktree link, there is a way for you to become a Patreon patron and show a little monetary love that way so we can bring this content, keep this going, and maybe one day I can be a full-time content producer, right?
Yeah. It's happening.
Yeah,
Not maybe.
it's
Is happening.
It's happening. We're speaking it into the universe, right? Yes.
That's right.
Speak it loud, speak it proud. And V, I know you have some online communities. So you have the C app. Is there anywhere else that people can like hang out and chit chat and get to know and network other people?
Absolutely. We have Soulpreneurs Association Facebook group. It is there and waiting for people to come in and share their soulpreneur opportunities and their love. We're all about gathering, but I love yours. Like, I just love being in there.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much, V, for joining us. Thank you again, all of you supporters, listeners, for hanging out. If you've got some good nuggets, I would love it if you would send this out to your friends, whoever you think would really enjoy this. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.